Hello, and welcome to the Lightworker Diaries, a space for reflection, truth-telling, and soulful remembering. My name is Tiffany, and I am a truth teller, a mystic, and a mirror. These are transmissions from my heart to yours, an archive of channeled wisdom, lived stories, and the real work of becoming. May something in here stir something in you. Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the Lightworker Diaries. The energy this week, I'm just going to jump right into it, is wild. On Sunday, we kicked off the opening of the Lionsgate portal, and I released an entire episode about that on Monday. And I am currently sitting in Monday, and I will tell you the energy today is so edgy. There is just this almost like a cosmic push that's happening. My technology's been a little bit off. I have felt like I'm trying to run, but I'm got one of those resistant bands around my waist that's like holding me back. And I just like want to have this little temper tantrum for no reason at all. And so as we approach this full moon, now Wednesday, full moon in Aquarius, I just want you to know that if you are feeling more than you usually feel in that sweet, sensitive animal body of yours, that you're not alone. We are in it. And the thing that I'm going to start with here is this is the process, right? This is how the transformation begins. When we look at the field as it existed, in order to change it, we have to destroy it. And so I know. It's the reason why people don't like the Tower card. It's super disruptive. It's super uncomfortable, and it's super necessary. So as we're heading into this deeply transformative, frequency shifting portal and having specific planetary influences that are like stirring the proverbial pot, couple things for you. Get outside, bare feet on the earth. It's going to help you to anchor some of this crazy energy that we're experiencing. It's going to help you resource yourself. And as you're doing it, think about the fact that this earth has supported you every single step of your existence. There is a trust element here that I want to open up for you so that you begin to realize where you are being supported, because I know many of you, like me, are incredibly hyper independent, and relying on other people is not something that we've considered safe. In fact, it's something that many of us have written off completely because why risk it, right? But we are in a portal of transformation that is going to allow us to receive more than we have ever received before. And part of that receiving is support. And I want you to have that. I want you to have that so deeply, because you doing it all yourself is what's exhausting you. And it's just not necessary anymore. I know you're strong. I know you are hella strong. And so let's just let that storyline go. Let's move in to our divine feminine, where we get to be in receiving, in creativity, in support, being the ones taken care of. And in return, we take care of the field as well. So we are going to get outside. We're going to ground ourselves, whether that's feet on the ground, butt on the ground, full laid out horizontal belly on the ground, whatever feels accessible to you. Go where you can, do what you can. You're also going to drink extra water. Just overhydrate a little bit. Throw a little bit of electrolytes in there, some salt, some whatever you use for your electrolytes. Just mineralize support for yourself internally, right? Get some extra sleep. I know these are all things that we know how to do, but sometimes we just need a gentle little reminder, someone who comes back and says, hey, remember we do this, and when we do this, it feels better. And you go, oh yeah, that's right. So these are your little reminders. Take care of that precious human body that you have been wandering around in, so that you can continue to wander, enjoy, and be savory and salty and sweet and all the things that make this life so incredibly enjoyable. So let's circle back to the energetic report. I shared last episode that I am doing a daily channeled transmission for the Lionsgate portal. That is available. Check it out in the show notes. I won't say anything more about it at the moment, but I want to just note that as part of that process, we are still in the release phase of this portal. And so this is the time where things are going to get shook up, where things are going to get triggered, where things are going to get uncomfortable. And the fastest way to move through these things is to not cling to anything in particular. And I know you're like, great, but how? So I remember when I first started studying meditation, and I was using the Headspace app, and I loved this idea of this visualization that they provided of imagine that you're standing on a sidewalk and there are cars passing in front of you on the street. As long as you stand there and let the cars just pass by, the traffic keeps flowing and it's not a big deal. But the moment that you see that orange car coming up and you think to yourself, I need to stop that orange car, and you go stand in front of it, all chaos breaks out. Traffic is created. You are clinging to a particular idea, and in doing so, creating tension that didn't previously exist. So I think this is something that people misunderstand about meditation. It's never about having an empty street in front of you. There's going to be cars. There's going to be thoughts. Your mind will never be completely empty. But the practice is to see the orange car, to see the thought, and let it go by without getting wrapped around it, without stepping in its way, without taking your mental teeth into it and just chewing until you can't chew it no more. So part of this experience of what we're exploring this week is just noticing what's getting shaken. Like if you were to ever be in a tornado or a hurricane, it's the calmest at the center. And that's a little bit of what we're experiencing this week. We are watching our reality swirl and shift because there are frequencies coming into our field that are showing us what is no longer aligned with the person that we are becoming. But we have to stay in the center and not get swept out into the spiral of thought forms that are clearing the path for who we are becoming. So this is a great time to use a mantra if that is something that you find beneficial. So when your mind goes off on this wild goose chase about how Susan said something about so-and-so, and you just can't let it go because you've got to step in and say something because that wasn't right, drop back into your center. I'm only responsible for me. Everything is working out in my favor. Susan's thoughts are Susan's thoughts. My thoughts are mine. Everything is okay. You don't have to manage everything and everyone. I'm actually going to say that one more time. You don't have to manage everything and everyone. I would dare say the majority of the people in your world are grown-ass adults, and they can take care of themselves, even if up until this point, you haven't believed that to be true. You have a value that is in who you are, not how you make people feel or what you do for them. There is a value that is innate in who you are just because you are you. And so part of this portal, part of this release is letting go of the caretaking, letting go of the over responsibility, letting go of the performance, letting go of the perfection. And yeah, it's uncomfortable because if someone has been relying on you for all of their needs to be met and you start to pull back, they're going to lean in. They're going to say, why are you taking away that life force energy? I can't survive without you. They can. They will. And this is an energy leak that once you plug it, you're going to notice a huge shift in how you feel once you get through the discomfort of the conversation and the boundaries and the saying no that you're inevitably going to have. we are in that part of the portal, the uncomfortable part, where we have to say things that are going to upset people or make us feel uncomfortable because they might feel uncomfortable. We are in the part that no one wants to do. But you and I both know that we didn't come here to only come this far. You and I both know that you have a dream that has been planted in your heart that you cannot stop thinking about. You wake up dreaming about it. You go to bed dreaming about it. You write about it in your journal all day long. It is the thing you want more than anything else in this world. And it's just on the other side of the thing that you don't want to do the most. It's true. It's true. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm going to share my own personal example. I want nothing more than to travel and write. I have loved being a creator. I have loved getting back into channeling. I have loved being a part of this creative expression that has worked its way through me after being in logic-led life for the last 45 years. But it's going to require me doing things like figuring out, do I still have a house to live in and call my home base, or don't I? And if I don't, what happens to all the stuff I've accumulated? That's terrifying. I have an accumulation of stuff to deal with. But that's part of the process. And yeah, you know what? You're right. I could just decide I'm going to go travel and walk out the door and go. I could absolutely do that. But that just doesn't feel right to me. Maybe I do still want this place. Maybe there is a world in which we can Airbnb it or rent it out and have it still be a home base and have the best of both worlds. It's a decision I have to make, a somewhat uncomfortable decision because it is a drastic change from the lifestyle I have been living. And to layer another component on top of it, I'm not the only one. My partner Dave is a part of this decision. Our dog Max is a part of this decision. There are multiple parties involved, and we need to make the decision that's best for everybody. And there's part of me that says it's the reason why we haven't made this decision, because it's easier just to stay here and let me be the only one who's uncomfortable. But that's not true anymore. That's not what I want. And I've reached that point where I'm willing to have the uncomfortable conversations and do the uncomfortable things to build the life of my dreams because I deserve it. Because I know the universe is working in my favor. And because I know everything is going to work out in perfect divine timing and the options will be endless and it will all work out. But if I'm too scared to even start the conversation, nothing will change. So pay attention to what is pulling you forward. Pay attention to that thought tension that says, but what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Or that's going to be so much work. And just notice the stories that you're using to talk yourself out of the thing that you truly desire because it might be hard. I want you to listen closely, my friend. You chose this path, this dream, this desire for a reason. And it is coming up for you now because it knows that you are capable of having it, of doing it, of fulfilling it. It is time. And everything in the cosmic field is rooting for you. Rooting for you. It is such perfect timing for this. And the moment that you decide and declare that this is what I am having for myself, the entire world is going to shift to make that possible. I want that for you. I want the world to hand you the ace up its sleeve and say, girl, look, here is the easy way. I want you to be surprised. I want you to be blessed. I want you to experience the magic and the miracles that are waiting for you on the other side of that one conversation that is scaring you immensely. So before we close today, I'm just going to give you one more invitation. If you want to really tap into the frequencies, the activations, the initiations that are available as part of this Lionsgate portal, I would love to have you drop down into the show notes and click to sign up for the Lionsgate portal daily transmissions. It is a private podcast feed delivered to whatever podcast platform of your choice. And I've been dropping into the energy each day and will continue to drop into the energy through August 12 when the portal closes. And I am channeling what is available for us at the time. So whether that is a clearing, we did a clearing actually today to help support the release of these karmic loops that are completed in the soul contracts that are now done, or if it's an activation, or even if it's a practice. These are all things that are specifically channeled each day to support you through this transformation. One, so you don't have to feel like you're alone, but two, to help you energetically through the process. Because when you shift the energy, the physical reality changes easier. It's such a silly word to use, but when you change the energy, the physical reality just shifts more naturally. It's just how it is. So if that's something of interest to you, drop down into the show notes, sign up. Like I said, this is a free transmission, or you can provide an $8 donation. And I would love to have you receive exactly what you need in order to make it through this portal and receive the abundance, the expression, the creativity, the joy, the expression that is most true for you. Thank you for listening to the Lightworker Diaries. If something stirred in you today, take a breath and let it land. To go deeper, you can subscribe to the written diaries on Substack. You'll find a link in the show notes. Until next time, be true to you.